Hey, what's up guys? Today we're over here at and I'm going to show you guys how we take a look at these parking lots.
So we got a request that called in from the customer and they said this parking lot needed a 2-inch mill-in overlay. Whenever we get these requests, we always want to verify that the scope is correct. We also did our own takeoff here with Spot On Site. And so we're going to go ahead and document what we see as damage to the client as well too, because sometimes since they're not experts in our field, we can catch errors that they might make and be able to save them some money along the way. First thing I usually look at when we're looking at parking lots is the drainage. I want to know where the water is flowing and which direction it's going towards. So in this instance, it's flowing north down this drive lane here. We want to look for the inlet. We do know that it's draining this way. And you can kind of tell by just the way the water has streaked across the parking lot in the past. So from there, we're going to keep looking. Basically, I'm trying to validate the scope right now, make sure that we have the right scope. Saying that we need a 2-inch mill-in overlay. Right now, I'm not totally seeing that. So we do see some crack fill that we need to address. We've got a low area right here where a pothole's starting to form. A few other things that I've noticed in the drive lanes, but if we can save them some money, we're going to, but we've got a whole lot more to look at. Document these pictures. We have some longitudinal cracking this way and then some traverse cracking as well that goes this way. Longitudinal cracking typically happens down the paver seam. That isn't the case right here, but we do see some cracking this direction. Once the longitudinal starts meeting the traverse, you'll start seeing the block cracking occur. Right now, just minor cracking here and there, nothing too crazy. So just documenting this stuff. One of the things that I'm noticing on the surface though is we have all of the fines are rolled out of the parking lot, the surface course right through here. What that means is a lot of the fines, the AC oil that's locked into the surface, which kind of preserves and keeps everything tight and together, has evaporated. It's oxidized, so to speak, from the sun. And so those are some of the things that we look for. The seal coating prevents that from happening, almost stops it dead in its tracks and helps lock everything into where it's at. So one of the main reasons why you want to look to seal coat on parking lots. So Spot On Site is a software that we use basically to show the client exactly what we're looking at. Now they have a map that they put together of what they think should be the scope. And even though I've got some areas that I don't necessarily agree with, I'm going to use Spot On Site to show them why we don't agree with it, only because I want to be able to document and show them exactly what we're looking at as well too. So this parking lot was probably installed close to between 15 to 20 years ago, I would say. Asphalt usually lasts 30 years if maintained properly. They haven't maintained this extremely well, so it's probably closer to 15 at this point. You could see we've got some breakage along the edge right here, which is pretty typical. Right here, we've got a pretty substantial pothole. You can almost look down and see the layers of it in the layers that it was paved on. So those are some of the things that I look for when we're evaluating. Earlier, I mentioned that first thing we want to kind of address is figure out where the drainage is going and making sure that the inlets are proper, that we have drain pans that are taking and channeling the water to where it needs to go. So I mentioned the water's coming this way. It's actually flowing down this way as well too. So once the water gets down this way, it starts making a break, and we've got probably, I would say, 3 to 4% drainage cross slope over this way. We've got a little bit of a low area here, which is important to note because this is pretty much the lowest area of parking lot. I can tell everything is draining this way. We've got a drain pan right here that's carrying the water. I bet if we were to look behind this car right here, we're gonna see an inlet, but we'll double check here in just a second. We are seeing some ponding right here. Typically does happen in some of the lower areas of the parking lot, but it's important that we get this water into the drain pan, which is gonna channel into the inlet over there. All the water is supposed to sheet drain this direction, so it's coming the direction that we're facing. It's northwest. It's all coming diagonal across the parking lot this direction. So these are all good things to know. We want to know them before we go out to mill or to go to pave, just to really make sure that we're keeping water moving off the parking lot, off the asphalt, and going in the same direction it's supposed to go.